Okay, for this question on mensuration, we are dealing with hemisphere, a solid hemisphere and a solid cylinder. So if you look at what I have done, I write down the formula. So before I start the question, I write down the formula of a hemisphere, volume, and surface area of a hemisphere. So do note that the surface area got two parts. Okay, one part will be the curved surface area, and then the curved surface area is on this, is at the side of it. Okay, the flat one is on top. Okay, so there are two parts of it. So you do not just add in, like we split into two parts. So don't just remember it as 3 pi r squared. For some students actually just remember it as 3 pi r squared. So it comprises of the curved surface area and the flat surface area. Sometimes that in some other question, you do not have the flat surface area. For example, if it's a hemisphere bowl, so there won't be the flat surface area. Then they will just be a curved surface area. Curved surface area. The volume of the cylinder will be pi r squared. And same thing for the surface area. We got the curvy part. The curvy parts is the one that is at the side. It's the one that you see a piece of paper on a tin can. And then here we got the top and we got the bottom. Okay. Again, in this question, this is a solid, so we have both the top and the bottom. But there are some questions that don't have. So for example, if this is a cylinder pencil holder, then we have the bottom, but we don't have the top. Okay. Or sometimes, right, you might encounter a shape that is like this, like a capsule, like how a Maxon look like, the capsule where it's like this. So if it's a Maxon kind of capsule, this kind of shape where it's a cylinder and two hemisphere, if you consider the curved surface area of the cylinder, there's only the side. You will not have the top and bottom of the cylinder for the surface area because it's totally covered by the hemisphere already. So you need to take note of which part of the surface area is required. Don't just blindly remember the formula. Okay. In this question, the first part is quite easy. Before we go into the first part, just do remember that in this case for the hemisphere, the radius that we are dealing with is 3y, and the radius that we are dealing for the cylinder is 2y. So the radius will be applicable for wherever is applied in the formula here as well. Okay. Then the first part, total surface area of a hemisphere, like what we say, we got the curved and we got the flat one that gave us a 3 pi r squared, and we can put in the radius. So when you put in the radius, please be careful. Remember to square the number and square the algebra. So some students don't get the 27 because they never square the 3 to get 9. So that's how you get the 27 pi y squared. Okay, the next part, again, is talking about total surface area, but this time around for the cylinder, and is equal to the total surface area of the hemisphere. We already gotten this. So before we make them equal, we focus on the total surface area of the cylinder first. So we don't make them equal straight away. You focus on the total surface area of the cylinder, which is 2 pi RH. Because there is a top and bottom, then that will be 2 pi r squared. Okay, and then you put in the relevant r, which is a 2y. Okay, simplify properly, number times number. That it looks like there's a lot of algebra, but it's okay. just deal with it one by one. Square the number, square the algebra. So we get 4 pi yh plus 8 pi y squared. Once you get the total surface area of the cylinder, we make them equal. We make them equal with your answer from the first part. If you didn't manage to get the answer for the first part, you still use it. It's fine. Okay, so what is your objective of making them equal? It is to find h in terms of y, which is like make h the subject. So identify where is your subject first. Don't get confused by the number of symbols. So the h that you want is here. Okay, if you look carefully, every one of them has a pi. So if you want to make things less complicated, you can divide by pi first. And once you divide by pi, you realize that there is a 27y squared and an 8y squared. So in such a case, you can minus over, you get a 19y squared, and that leaves you to divide by the 4y, so that you can get 19 over 4y. So don't leave your answer here like this. There will be some students, they forgot to cancel the y squared and y. So once you do that, your answer is 19 over 4y. So don't forget this part, because sometimes you might need it in the subsequent part. Okay, so you realize in the part B, your answer for part A is helping you. So bear in mind your answer for part B, it might be helping you in the third part. Okay, for the third part, we start to deal with the volume formula. So they simply gave us the volume of hemisphere, 500, and they wanted us to find the volume of the cylinder. So what I will be doing will be, I'm going to focus on the volume of hemisphere. So volume of hemisphere, if I focus on it, it will be 2/3 pi r cubed, and the correct radius will be 3y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify properly first. So I'm going to simplify properly first. So if I press 2/3 times 27, I got 18. So I got 18 pi y cubed. Okay, and then I'm going to look at what is the volume of cylinder like. So they mentioned about these two volumes, so I'm just going to be simplifying my two volume first. So this one will be pi r square h. So don't forget the correct radius will be 2y, and do not forget to square the 2, or else you'll make numerical mistake. So from here, I'm supposed to find 4 pi y square h. So once you get the two volume, okay, you look at what you have. You do know that this is a 500, and your job is to find this. So you should end up as a numerical volume. So in order to have the numerical volume, you must know what is your y, you must know what is your h. So actually, don't forget, from part B, you already gotten your h is equal to 19 over 4y. So what you can do is, okay, you put in the h first. You can put in the h first. So put in the h, you get 19 over 4y, so that the whole expression is easier. So you can, and then you can punch calculator. So everything is just left with pi y cubed. Okay, so here comes the thing. So right now you observe the two expression of volume first. And then this whole thing is given to be 500. So actually what I will do is I will just make pi y cube as 500 divided by 18. And I will get 250 over 9. So I'm just going to get until here first. Then in order to get the volume of the cylinder, which is equal to 19 pi y cube. The whole pi y cube is actually equivalent to 250 over 9. So you replace the pi y cube with 250 over 9. And that's how you get the volume of the cylinder. So I didn't bother to find the value of y, but I think some of you will continue to find. It will be okay if some of you continue to find. So for example, you will continue and then you will get a y. That's also fine. It's fine also. It's just that you will get a chain of decimal. It's fine if you get a chain of decimal. It's okay. But when you get a chain of decimal, please make sure you use a whole chain of decimal to find the volume. It will still be correct. Okay. It's just that you will not get a nice fraction, but that's fine. You can leave it as 3SF. Okay. So basically, we approach a whole question with formula. But throughout the formula, if you've got technical error like forgetting to square or forgetting to cube number, you find that it actually get very messy. Okay. Otherwise, this question, I think, is quite doable.